So as I said, I'm feeling weird. So what I want to do, what I feel like I want to do, is kind of like getting this whole thing just having like a playable prototype. I'm feeling fluffy. I'm feeling foxy. Because currently I can create the objects, the ball. Also I need like, I will create like an environment. I wonder, like, people are free to comment like feedback. Like, for example, the blocks are not going to look like this in the corners. I'm going to make completely new blocks, like texture wise. But like which scenes each world will have. I'll probably do like 10 levels per scene or something like that is the plan. And the levels are as easy as just writing out positions of all the objects, so it should be very easy. HG as in Mercury. Oh yeah, if it's a capital H, HG. Official the Mercury God, that works. Official the Mercury God. You know, not, I think, yeah. Are you aware of Freddy? Are you official the Mercury God? Perhaps your name is. Are you aware of that you can put capital letters in your username? You can do that from the account settings. If you put the H in uppercase, it will definitely come across as Mercury and not hectogram. Lowercase HG is hectogram, uppercase H but lowercase G is Mercury. Uppercase H and G, I don't know what that's done for, or lowercase H and uppercase G, I do not know what that stands for either. It's hector something. There we go. Coach, actually it was red, therefore it can only be an apple. There are no other edible things that are red except jukebox. The champion. The Freddie Mercury. Where's the Freddie part? Also, where do the official go? 27 minutes of the Dylan was made for at cheating on his wife. Oh my. Also, what's for dinner? So what I need to do is make this ball smaller. Unity doesn't seem to run efficiently. But I mean, better than Unreal Engine at this point. He was not royal at all. Okay. I got lost in this conversation. What's for dinner exactly? Yeah, what's for dinner? Let's move over to the dinner conversation instead. So when it comes to the ball, I think it should be like half the size of the cube. I think. So the cube should already be well, a cube should be 1 unit in width, and the ball should be half a unit in width in that case. Well, I could create the ball at 1 unit and then scale it down. I could also create it at its intended size and not scale it down, you know. Oh, that's also an option. Let me see, I don't have weird sources enabled, shouldn't have. So I'm going to look at a quick reference before I make decision of its size. Pork ribs. I so wanna try the food you make, Orimian. And when I'm tired of programming, I could do play some Monster Train, I guess. You like it when I play Monster Train? I mean, I like it. Okay, let's take a screenshot of that. Of this reference, and time to go do some train those monsters. Unfortunately, you don't train monsters in that game. You fight monsters on a train. You do. I mean, would you call your units monsters? You cannot fight monsters, but I guess everything is monsters in that game. You fight monsters, you play as monsters. Okay, let's see here. It's the width of this is that many pixels, and the width of this, it's that many pixels, and it does. Oh, that's actually more like 40%. So I could go with, because if I go with 40%, it might come off as an obvious ripoff, but like could go with 45%. So it's kind of like slightly larger. So it will be 45. I should reduce this from. I should type it correctly. So it should be size 225. That's kind of small, but. Delete all of those. I'll delete those. Delete those. And then save this one in my new project. What do I have a? Oh, I see. There. Save over that, and then export this according to Unity settings. There we go. Close this. Let's go back here, and then I need to replace the orb mesh. No problem. I just have to navigate a bunch of folders. This becomes a lot of orb mesh orb. Yeah, the locus. Oh, an orb. There's a bit inconsistency between my games. There we go. Now it's been updated. So now if I run it, the ball should be significantly smaller. There we go. That is a much more reasonable ball size if it's going to traverse on the. Oh, why is it? The graphics glitching on it though. Did I pick the wrong ball? Yes, I did. Nice going there, pawn. Oh well, I have to redo this then. No problem. That's no problem. It's going to. There we go. Finally. Okay, let's see. That would make great tacos. I want to make tacos with orimian, especially like proper ones. It would be so amazing to like see. Also, orimian can see how our method is. Just to compare. I made jambalaya last night. Is that the Kenyan song? No, that's the Arunyan. Or whatever. Close enough. I'm tired of these MF monsters on this MF train. Orimian does not want to write out the swear words because Orimian does not want to swear. I'm tired of this. What was it? What did I had it? I had it with these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane, which was, of course, the censored version. And I wonder if they made it such a weird quote so it would be like obvious. Do. How did they do change the... Okay, anyway. Yeah, I think I picked the wrong one. I should have picked this one. Yes, this one is the correct one. Okay, because... Of course. There we go. Let's redo this. Delete everything I don't need. Let's call this match orb for sake of consistency. Save this over the other one again. Export it again, but this time it has the correct textures on it. Go back here. Copy over the new exported one. Go back here, reload it, start it again, and this time the texture should be correct. All monsters. I don't think there's any humans in the game. It's all different creatures, right? Body. Okay. Wait, it's much larger. I forgot to shrink it down in size. The one thing I was supposed to do. Cursor to world origin. Scale it down. Correct size. Let's export it once more. There we go, it has been updated the model. I guess it's already updated, it was a quick one. I'm so weirdly colored now. And there we go, now it's correct size, and now the texturing is correct on it too. Because I did change the texturing on it. Because before, if we use this grid, I divided up the texture in 3x3, and then I made the front side, the upper, bottom, left, and right side, and then I had back side and corner, which left 3 squares empty. Which is an efficient way of doing. Like, I did split up the sphere into 6 sides because that's a good way to unwrap it, I think. But then I changed it, so I changed the texture to a simple 3x2 instead. So it's no longer a 1x1 square texture, but we don't need to do that in modern day anyway. A 3x2 square texture is not a square texture. A 3x2 texture can still be mapped quite well still. It can no longer be scaled down to a single 1x1 pixel. I don't think mip maps go that small anyway, but the lowest size is a 3x2 size image, but still. And then I simply put the front, left, and right, and then I have the other 3 sides below, which takes up the full one. So for a smaller texture, it has higher details. The texture is smaller, but it gives more details. And every ball I will make will basically have the texture painted on it. No, like change, like in the previous game when I had like a football, it will be like that one has the bumpiness as so it kind of looks like a football. If I were to make a football texture here, it would just be painted on it. I'm going for a different visual style. I need sleep. I hope you get good enough sleep. Hello, Tiffany. Bodysuit is a good choice. When you want to see Ponpon's curves. I guess bikini shows that too. The bikini does have the frills that kind of breaks up the hips. Good night, lads and ladies and laddies. And okay, Todd, I hope you have a nice, good sleep. I don't know what time. Well, yeah, it should be quite early for you, so it's kind of crazy that you are here this early. I do appreciate it, but I mean, it can't be good for your sleep. And lads, I think that's everything. Lads, ladies, and non-binary pals. I can't think of anything. And foxes. No, that's me. You're Oreo. I didn't know Remy was an Oreo. Or even it's probably sweet like an Oreo. But Orimin is not a rip-off like Oreo. Orimin is the original. Coach, because I'm not pink, therefore I'm not a frog. It's such a weird quote out of context. I like it. Coach is 1,203%. It's kind of like average, maybe. Yeah, I mean, higher, but also lower. So, let's go to the script, and then I have the level manager, which so should I put the script here? There. If I hide this, I guess that's a way for me to show the audio view. So it generates the size of the grid, the position of all the squares, the items, which is which I think I want to position in position 4-0 actually, because obviously it can't be in the middle. Why shouldn't it be 4? It should be 0-4. I don't know. That's something I have to decide later. I will create like a HTML editor that will generate code for me. Quote, Raymond just all of a sudden said Chihuahua should be ready now. What's your response to that? Yes. There's 2 Chihuahuas codes. Isn't that crazy? This is just a test level anyway. So this thing I need is create an array. Okay, C# create array with size Oh yeah, you do that. Because it's for specifically the items, the cubes. It needs to check. I'm going to have some moving objects too. That is going to make it complicated, because I wanted to make it grid just to make it easier to manage. But I'm starting to think, what if that actually isn't the easiest way to manage this? Maybe I should go the weird way of actually checking. Because if I have cubes that move, the ball should kind of like read those cubes the same way. Okay, so what if I actually change my mind on that? A lot of this is just figuring like out how to program this. Because in that case I wouldn't need to specify the level size anymore. So I could just switch that back again. So with this ball thingies, why does it never create stuff in the center? It's kind of annoying. Because if it's center of something, if I make the cube -1 height, there we go. The prefab orb contains a prefab orb. That doesn't make sense. Shouldn't it contain the mesh? Shouldn't this be the mesh? I picked the wrong mesh. Like, I'm confused. Okay, let's create an empty, which I call player actually. And then I place the orb inside the player. Let's remove that orb. I don't need a prefab orb then. Create a prefab player instead. We're looking into. Okay, now it should. Okay, nice. So if I reset this to 0, because if this is normal, because this is it's going to be a bit weird, but if I lower this, how much should it be lowered by? Let's see it inside the cube. Well, I would be if I enabled double-sided on the cube for now. Okay, shadow does not help me see what's going on here. Okay, let's move faster. That's not moving at all. Just trying to find the exact. I guess that is the amount that stands on the ground. What does it? Oh, is it because local, global? Oh, I should have set it at the pivot point. There we go. And this one will have the material on it as well. Prepare cube, prepare player. So now if I generate the map, yeah, there you go. So the thing with play though, it's unlike the other objects, it kind of have a rotation. Starting to look like something, doesn't it? So I might specifically for the player specify. Okay, let's again change the code. So we do not need the size of the level because I'm not going to use the array in the end anyway. So instead, I'm going to have player start, and then we're going to have player orientation, and then player rotation, which I guess I might upload. do. Okay, so we have size. So this I will then change to player X, player Y, player Z. Which we'll have to specify here too. Just play start. And then we have inch player orientation. Well, input player orientation, I guess. Actually, I should check up C# function is using this practice. I should probably put up C# properly. It's using the one video phone problem if you or your runtime. It's not a good practice. Okay, it's not a good practice. The reason for using this keyword is to separate between class props and then to another properties. This particular section, if you're talking about code convention style, is level the maximum ones. Kind of not giving me. So, where are they defined?
Well, here's the sleep shop's answer.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'll continue like how I did. Even though it's a bit clunky. Can't really think of a better way of doing it. And timely word input to show us the input. There. And then this one will be wrong up here. Because now the starting position is 0, 1, 4, and the root. That might be correct. Currently, I don't have an item. There we go, and now it's general level cubes, general level items. It should also send over players starting. Well, it doesn't have to actually. You just have to include one more here. Instantiate item. I guess that would be instantiate layer. Which would be level data player start. Should probably call it player position. You know, for consistency. And then we have item type we don't need, item rotation we do need. So player orientation and then player rotation, which is just that's going to be confusing. Anyway, let me take this ad break to get some more tea. That's this word already? Yeah, he's left some dragons behind, but okay.
How long have I been in this game? I'm just curious.
Well, it's Nasty's world, so.
Is he the boss? The big boy?
Big boy Nasty Norik.
Come on, watch the slurs.
That's a quote.
I see.
Oh, why are you driving on the wrong side? This is not the UK.
Wait, we're not? Where are we?
No, it's not been the UK since World War II.
Oh.
What the fuck?
Which country are we in?
Netherlands.
Oh.
I'm scared of you as well, Bob.
Oh, well, understandable. I mean, consider
No, just because you've got a pointy object so close to my bulge.
Wait, what? I mean, a pen.
I have to be very nice.
But I would be careful when I poke it.
Handle with care.
Aha. Gem. Still on the. Oh, excuse me. Oh, no, no, no. You wanna fight? Fight me. Oh, I missed. Wait. What did you get hit by? Did you throw it on yourself? What a fool. Oh, oh run. No, the boulder is faster. What is this? Absolute cheat. Oh, no. Oh, you can enter. The door is locked, and there doesn't appear to be anyone inside. Okay, who just walked in then? I clearly saw someone walking through the door, and now you're going to claim that no one's inside. You're blind. Easy peasy treat. Yeah, it's an easy level. Nothing hard with this level. I haven't died yet. That shows how easy. I guess I didn't turn off the music. We got TNT now. So that's my bad. I need public void. It's that hit play where we take orientation, rotation. There. The serial will block 1 will be the player. Maybe, you know, there is one thing you could do. I could just make it so that every single level is designed so that the player is always facing, like, because objects is going to be able, as well as the player is going to be able to be on every side of a cube. And you can also rotate the camera around depending on which of the 4 directions you want to face on each of the 6 faces on the cube. Therefore, the starting position of the player could be on any of the 6 sides of the cube, as well as facing in any of the 4 directions. But I could just have it so the player always has the orientation down and facing whatever 4 it becomes. And then I just make sure that the level is rotated correctly. I mean, there is that too. I could do. I don't have to care about this. There is that. Level cubes transform, level items transform. Oh yeah, this one goes to the items. Because it will also delete the player. So this should hopefully still spawn the player, if I did this correctly. And then I just have to make the script for the player. When a player is created, it should create its own camera. Yes, as we can see, it still creates a player. So that is working. So, hello, Janelsta. I guess I should create a level management script prefab items, which I don't need anymore because that one isn't used. Okay, I didn't ask you to open. But I'll create a new script, which is layer script, I guess. What's cute Benoy up to? I'm just continuing on my game here. Could it open the script? Please, there we go. I was working on my script again. Working on my game again. Because I really want this to work, function. So when it adds... So I would add a script to the player prefab. Like that behind Pon. And then, yeah, because I'm editing the prefab, I don't have to press. It should just be part of it. I can do that by testing by typing debug log. This works. And let's see if I now start it. We should see here in the console here that should say this works, and that means it works. And it says this works. So this works. It does run the script. Good. So when it is created, I'm completely changing how I'm planning how this game works in it. Because I will have movable blocks, and therefore relying on the grid doesn't really work anymore. But this is a good practice to kind of like get logic to work. So step 1. All right. I wanna run the like in the other game cinematic camera thingy. Can you run that by me again? No, it's not important. Cinematic machine. Yes, I wanted to create a cam because I'm trying to make it just be self-contained. So I wanted to create a cinema machine, but I'd like to know. I don't even know what I said, so I can't. So I can't even help you on that. With your question, with answering your question. Even if I wanted to. Okay. Okay. I have not yet created a GitHub repository repo, which I should, so I will create it now. Create new repo. Just what you decided to change on the game and why the grid will no longer be useful. I will change it so that I will have movable blocks, which the blocks themselves are still like grid based, but they will, as they're moving, they will break the grid during the movement, and you could land on them and jump off them during this movement, like between two grids. So therefore having this player be absolutely fixed to this grid is no longer going to work. Instead, it's just going to check kind of like where the blocks are, which includes both movable and non-movable blocks, while from the player's perspective, instead of creating this array. If the array would be more solid, perhaps, that wouldn't be reliable with movable blocks. That works if you have non-movable blocks. Or if you find some kind of weird, quirky way of working around it, but I feel like in my situation it's probably easier to just not rely on this. It's okay. So we'll make this a private repository. There we go. And then in fork, so the software, kind of a weird name for it. I should be able to add a new, initiate new repository. And then I will pick the one, that one. There we go, it has a third tab. Nice. Yeah, I hope what I said made sense. And now it's working. Don't need this one, so let's close it. I don't need that one either. Dude. Oh yeah, that one I'm not, that's messy, I'm not going to send anymore. It's almost 2 days until this Steam summer sale. 2 days, 3 hours, 49 minutes and 43 seconds. Are you excited for the Steam summer sale? I have my how many items do I have on my wish list? Oh, it doesn't tell me in this menu. It tells me in this menu though. Error. Too many requests. I made one request. 181 items in my wish list. Hopefully some of them goes on sale. Actually, one game is currently on sale. I think they start on sale now. There's a few less than €1 games here. Or that I wanna play at some point. Not especially. I'm mostly waiting for Dark Tide's Skitari DLC, and I assume it's not going to be released anytime soon. But yeah, Nersto, you can get Euro Truck Simulator 2, and then we can collab in playing that game. Just getting more and more people to have that game, so we can. What am I doing? I was waiting for these things to be done. There we go. Considering adding it, git ignore here. I want to add it. Oh wait, I should have added it. I forgot about it. Can I add? Oh, I made this wrong. No, yeah, I can just copy the git ignore from my other project here. Cause this one, git ignore, let's copy that over to this one. Boop. And I think it should have everything. I don't think I need all of these. But I guess it doesn't hurt. There we go, now it's down to 95 instead, which is much more reasonable. Is there stuff I shouldn't have here? Tutorial info. Don't need that, do I? What is that not looking? No, it's not 84. It's a much more reasonable number. Let's stages all and call this the initial repo commit. There we go. And then I'll do this important change because I do like my games to play consistently regardless of how you play the game. So I'm going to go to what it's called. It's called time. So we'll go by 1 out of 120 as the time scale. There we go. And then I should be able to see it here. Yeah, it updates a lot of things for some reason. Even though I didn't change any of this. But I guess it's updates from the default Unity settings when you create a project to like the proper ones. Because the time settings change from fixed time from a fixed number to this formula that is used instead. But let's make sure it is correct. 141120000 divided by 1176000, and we get exactly 120. It is correct. Let's stage all of that and commit that as well. There we go. Let's create a branch for players, which I will work on now. Good. Everything is working as it should be. Less than an hour. Yeah, I don't think this Steam Summer Sale is going to affect that DLC then. But anyway, so now back to where I was doing, but because I do have to make, you know, the repo and stuff for it. I have a camera player which has Cine Machine virtual camera. Wait, which was the one that determined which is the active camera? Oh yeah, we have the Cine Machine brain here, which goes into okay. So I add to the HD additional camera scripts blank. Audio listener. Oh yeah, because you can use the cameras where the sound comes from. So if I add Cine, no, I don't have it. Is there something I need to enable? And also I need to minimize this one. Oh. Was that something I had to add? But it was all. There's a Visual Studio in a way. Yeah, I wasn't doing anything in this view anyway, so I wasn't working in other stuff. But now I'm back here. So the main, and also I was looking in the other project how I set things up. So yeah, this didn't show anything. Anyway, I want the Cine Machine, so that's something I have to enable then, because I don't have it here. Yeah, I just have camera. I mean, I don't need anything in the main camera anyway, so I'm not going to do anything complicated, and anything like sure I could have an introductory camera view and a now you're dead camera view. But all of that, I mean, the player could control the camera, and the player's going to go into these states as starting level state, finish the level state, like, although the main script should probably have this state. But the main script can also tell the player objects to also go into a certain state. So if the player is controlling the camera, because the player should... Well, the player is getting destroyed and created, to be fair. So the main object, the main script could handle the camera. Hello, Sweaty, I'm thinking out loud. So the main script could handle the camera fully. Sure, the Cine Machine does allow you for like easy and stuff like that. And while I could write something like that myself, it wouldn't be the same. Now with that, what's baking? Is everything baking? Oh, he's sweaty. Is anything baking? I don't know. I mean, I was thinking like... Yeah, I think I almost feel like the main object should handle the camera in that case. I could just have it... I could just have... I'll start... instead of messing around with a bunch of different cameras and Cine Machine and all that stuff, which isn't that complicated, but yeah, I don't know. Let's do instead. What is the camera? Is the main camera? Main script camera hides inherent member component camera. Use the new keyboard if hiding was intended. So there is a camera already. Okay, well in that case, if I do debug log camera. Wait, so there isn't a camera? Okay, so there isn't a camera. But you said it was a camera. I'm confused now. Not confused. Quote, 1991, if it was ready for an apple. Okay, now I'm a bit confused. Why is saying this? Main camera. No, it doesn't complain anymore. Quote, no, please say it. I like it when you say perverb stuff. What quotes you find? Those are some quotes, alright. Worms 3D. That was a game. Main camera is the only camera. Well, okay, so now it has main camera it can control. So it should have like game object. It should have a state. And I think for states I want it to be enumerated. I think that's a good way of handling that. How do I create an enumeration again? I did create it for my cuteness value. Quote, Tukbox will fangirl all over the place. Oh yeah, that's how you do it. Let's create it outside, I guess. I don't know. Do I make it public or private? Let's create it. Let's see what happens. What happens if I type it private? And we call it state. Game state. We're just gonna complain about something. It's complicated about something here. Elements defined in a name that cannot be explicitly declared as private, protected internal, or private, protected. Okay. Well, thank you for telling me that. Okay, that'll be public then. And then this one will then have the states. And it could, I don't know which states there will be, but wait, how do I define the values of them? Because I have I just realized I can give them, but I can't give them values. Wait. Oh, let me look this more up. Cause that's good. That's good English. I speak good English. C# in values. Get the int value from enum. An enumeration type or enum type is a value type defined by a set of name constants of the underlying integral numeric type. So an enumeration type the enum key when a specified name. So integral numeric types. Integral numeric types is integer numbers, and all integer numbers types are value. So enum, okay. Okay. Okay, so enums are integers. Okay, so all I have to do is give values here, which could be well, I guess it would be an intro, and then gameplay, and then deaths. I don't know. I guess fail and success, I guess. Which and then you can like give them values like this. Start of a level. I'm not sure if I could call it intro. Spawning. How about that? Start of a level before controls are given to the player. When the player has control over the player, has control over the character. Fail when the player fails the puzzle. I have to restart. When the player succeeds the puzzle and can continue. There we go. And yeah, so you know, these are just 4 integers, so it's values 0, 1, 2, 3. And oh yeah, it says if I'm holding it or mousing over it, you don't see it on stream, but it literally says game state periods. And that's not how you spell spawning, by the way. Spawning, there we go. It literally says game state point spawning equals 0. What does it say? Oh, because it's changed its name, but I'm not using it anyway. But the great thing about this, and this is kind of what I wanted to do with, it should compile these as numerical integers when compiling this, not using these as strings. But I can use them as strings. Well, I'm not using them as strings, I'm using them as variable names. These are like kind of like constant variable names. As a quick way, so I can then do game state, and then I can do game state. Game state is game state spawning, or like. And all it does is said that this is exactly the same as typing int game state. I'll call it game state int for now, equals 0. It's the exact same thing. However, I could add a new state here, which says I don't know, menu, and that will change this to 1 instead. But the code will not break, because I will never. You should never refer to these enumerators by their int values, because when you do, then things can start breaking. If you can add more enumerators here. So yeah. But let's ignore the spawning for now. Let's jump straight into the gameplay. And then I can have on the update but which I want as fixed update. Is that what it's called? Because I want it to update every internal tick. It won't render it every tick, but and this one would have like bool has control or something like that. It always says true for now. Fixed up this calls once every internal. There we go. And then the main script will just tell the player script, hey, you don't have control. Well, or rather, this one is set to false. Let's set it to true for now. This is just a testing phase. And then just do test the game state here. It do like if game state is game state gameplay, and then we do everything here, and then we can add like a comment here if you want, which says players controls this character. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. I haven't even set up the controls, so I don't have any inputs. Oh my. So many initial steps to do. Well, let's do that then. Isn't there... and already one. Okay, it's barely anything in that one. I guess I don't have it. Okay, this resource folder went unused. Do I place it on the script? Visual scripting. That would be, what was it called again? I put this under orb, I think. Input. So it's some input. Okay, it's called input. I don't have it here. Do I have it here? No. Input actions. Yeah, it's on the very bottom for some weird reason, but sure. Player in, or should you like in player inputs? But I should really keep things consistent. Input player. Let's call it like script. Level manager. Don't have to do this. Script main. I gotta do it just for the sake of consistency here. Script player, instead of calling player script, is script player. We'll keep things, I mean, it makes sense to have like player script and player input and player scripts are together. In a sense. Try to think how I wanna do this actually. Maybe I do that then. But I do have an input system actions here. But okay, player input. Actions, input actions. I guess it's called an input actions. Player input actions, yeah. Well, that's what input action asset. Assign as a project wide input. This is actually not assigned as the project wide input actions for the input system. They actually currently assigned as the project wide input are asset input. Yes. Input action. Input actions. There we go. Now they are. And then I should have the, sorry, I can't see what I'm doing. But yeah, it clear all of these because I renamed everything. Let's minimize that. So this is empty. So what do I, well, how did I do this again? I create a map, which I would call player, I guess. And we're going to have a few actions. Delete it to create a new one. We're going to have forward, because we got left and right, because this is going to do this is going to be more digital inputs. And then we have jump, and I wonder if we should have like a jump forward as a forced action, like a guaranteed for a jump. For those who want it. Or it should also be look up and look down. So it's going to be a button press. And it's going to be... What is whole... No, no, wait. Then I had a binding. I guess I added 2 bindings. And I'm going to have keyboard and control. So I'm going to do W and up arrow. As well as the up on the D-pad. But I could do up on a stick too, but like that's not recommended to use. I guess I should have up on the other stick as well. Should you because you can rebind these controls, but I wonder, should the controls for now they do mix gamepad and keyboards using control scheme, keyboard and mouse, gamepad. Do I even have? Yeah, let's go back to scripts, playing with actions. What is a control scheme? I should look that more up actually. I'm still waiting speaking. Input action. Okay. Unity control schemes. What is control schemes? Also, hello, Popcanis. Coach, looks like you really want pon-pons. It's that time of the month again. Do you need chocolate and a heated flag? Yes. Happy Tuesday, pun. I like to read your typos. It's funny. I'm just doing it for fun of it. Hello, Popcanis. Yeah, sometimes I'm just having these. It almost feels like it's closer to the end of the month too. Where I'm like really not in the mood. Like my mood is crazy. But what is control scheme? Control scheme allows you to define mappings of bindings to different control schemes and to switch your action map between different control schemes to enable different subsets of bindings for action. Systems can have associated device types so that the game can automatically enable them for users when using that type of device. Because I'm thinking I should have a control scheme for keyboard and mouse and a control scheme for, well, not mouse, keyboard, and a control scheme for controller. So I will do like keyboard, and then I will do keyboard. Save, and then I will have another one that is gamepad, gamepad. Yes. My fat fingers can never type properly. No, so yeah, I mean it happens to me too. I just find it funny. I know what you meant. But I do like Happy Tuesday. It kind of sounds funny. But I'm glad for the see you. Shiny love. Quote, whatever goes on behind that door stays behind that door. Okay, so... Oh, I set the gamepad mode. Okay, there we go. So both of those... I can't select multiple. because I don't know exactly what control schemes does, but hopefully it allows, because I tried to look something about when it comes to these actions here, like how does it allow you to change the inputs, the key mappings to something on your own. And as far as I could see, it's like if you have a setting in the menu, you basically, because these inputs here will then show the 3 inputs here, and then you can like add and remove. So I have decided to watch all the James Bond movies again before playing the new game. How many are there? What is like the total time it will take to watch all of them? Well, I was gonna say in order. I don't think out of order or in order would change anything on that. Left is A, and I can also I can change the order. I didn't think I could do that before. Add binding, 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 and then we have the and the right arrow. That's on what you want to use. And then we're going to have a left, right, left stick, right stick, a left stick, right stick. What annoys me is slightly because what Unity does, and this is an issue. Okay, first issue with Unity. Why can't I select multiple of these at the same time? I want to select all of them and just like, I understand I can't change what path is, but at least let me like change keyboard, gamepad settings there, or other settings here. Multiple of these? No, of course not. But the next thing is like, the good thing is that when you have a left stick, for example, which is 2 axes, you can choose the left stick to be the 2-axis analog input. So what it gives you is a 2D float, the vector 2 float in the inputs. You can, or if you have the input as set as 1-dimensional, you can take the stick to be 1-dimensional and you get the inputs from that. Or you can set it to be a single button press, because this game is only going to care if you press it or not. Therefore, you can use a specific direction of the left stick, in this case left stick right, as the input. And if you push the stick enough, it will provide the input. That's all good. However, if you want a scroll wheel, it only accepts it as a 1-dimensional array. You cannot have scroll up as a button input. Which annoys me. So for example, if I if I set this to value and it's an axis, for example, oh, you do have scroll. Oh, for some reason I couldn't find these before. Interesting. I think I set it to button. Yeah, if I set it to button, yeah, it doesn't exist. But if I set it to value, it does exist. But yeah, that's the thing. But yes, I still had to scroll up and scroll down and separate. I didn't think I had that before. Oh, interesting. Okay, I guess no. Yes, I do. Okay, I was wrong. Then I do have it. I just need to change it to value instead of button, I guess. Anyway, jump. What is the jump? What would a jump key on keyboard and mouse keyboard be? What would you press to jump? I mean, space bar works. This is not super important, but like, Single bottom press. I sure hear thing, yeah. When I say button and you hear bottom, you have your priorities, Janeto. 25 official to non-canon. I think you meant 25 canon to non-canon. I hope those two non-canon are official. No, I think you meant like 25 officially canon. 25. And I assume you're going to watch those two extra. How long are those films? I guess it varies per film too. I've only seen one James Bond movie. I only remember him wrestling against an alligator. Sounds like not James Bond. What do you mean? We have some films to watch. James Bond, Indiana Jones, I don't know. Live and Let It Die, Roger Moore in my top 5. And I am a Bond fan, like some people are Star Wars fans. We have had James Bond Trivial Pursuit going on. How did you do that? Bond Hi chat. Hello, Never. I'm glad how many people are here, despite me just doing some programming. It's amazing to see so many people being here chatting. Avocado, don't forget about your daily fruit. It's never. So if you use WSD, you might use spacebar for jumping. Would you use something else? If you use the arrow keys, because you can use the right hand for play, because you can still use the spacebar to jump. But is there any other button you would like to press? If you were to play, I guess that maybe not know fully. Will they not know the game? Because your inputs are, you only have basically, there's only like 3 inputs or 5 inputs depending on how you're gonna count it. You can move forward, you can just rotate left and right. You can jump, which allows you to jump straight up or jump forward. You can do both. And then you can look down. You can also look up, but vast majority of the time that's not going to be used. So what would you use as jump, and what would you use as look up and down? And now I'm going to have a binding that is like, because you jump forward, you need to hold forward and press jump. But that's, but I'm going to have it so that if you press forward and jump, it doesn't. I'm going to have so when you start your jump, there's going to be a period at the start of the jump where you can press forward and turn it into a forward jump. And similar when you move forward. I mean, as you're moving, you can always press jump to jump. So that once. But it's basically when you're jumping up, you should be able to press forward during the rising of the jump to make you go forward. And the game I'm taking its inspiration from, I do not know if that's an option. And in fact, is there an option to step? Well, I can slow down the game. But I'm not sure if there's a way to like step forward 1 frame. Here we go. Shortcuts. Where's the pause? There we go. Is there a speed up? Anyway, step forward. Do I have that? I guess barely any keys are assigned. Okay, that is step 4. I'll use that then. Okay, there we go. So the start is so if I pause this, press down the jump button, step 1 frame forward. Oh yeah, it does racer, good. So if I then do that and then hold forward after the race to my jump. No, it does not move forward. Great. But if I hold forward first, skip 1 frame, and then press jump, it does jump forward. Okay, so this game, and this is why I have had an issue with this game. requires you to hold forward. Well, can you press it at the same time? No, I didn't test that. So if I hold forward and press jump and then start, okay, that works. So you need to press forward the same frame or before the frame you press jump. If you press forward just one frame after you press jump, you're not jumping forward anymore. And that is despite, and I think this might be a bug in the game, that is despite when you press jump, there's 2 frames where the play character here does nothing. During those 2 frames, it could allow you to press the forward button and then do a forward jump on the frame it starts moving, it starts jumping. But no. No. Nope. But that's what I want to implement, that when you just have started your jump, you should be able to press forward and it should become a forward jump, making the game a bit more what you wanted to do. So that's one of the struggles I've had playing that game, where it just does an upwards jump instead of a forward jump when I want to jump forward. But it's specifically due to I'm just pressing jump before I press forward, and it has specifically to be forward before jump. That was a bit silly. Let's see what you're talking about now. Quote, how does a femboy work? Well, you see, okay, what are like and also you can only add 1 binding at a time. You can't add like 5 of them at once. This is the dog song. Oh yeah, I was going to check. What is the up and down loop buttons in the game? So I can use the same. I will assume the down, because it's the shoulder buttons. I assume the lower button is look down and the upper button is look up. That will not be the case. The lower button is looking up and the upper button is looking down. But only on the right side. I could keep that, or I could flip it around. I mean, people are free to just change the controls as they want. That's okay. I mean, these ones aren't making it easier though. Oh. Can you please let me land first? Can you please? Okay. I think I just died.
I mean, that's why they say...
I think there's been an accident here, so you have to pass them on the shoulder.
No, it's a train, right?
Oh, it's a train?
I think so.
It's a motorway, there is no train. Go. No, they're stopped on the motorway to let a train pass. No, come on. When sleeping, warm and cuddly. Alright, this is a guy that sleeps with Pokemons. Right. Oh, and spectacular, ravishing, simply divine. Oops, look at the time. I've kept you for too long. Thanks for hearing me out. I want you to have this. And he shares candy with children. Right cannon makes Pokemon stronger. I prefer making my Pokemon stronger by battling, so you can have it. Oh yeah. And people say, point, they're not saying weird stuff. This is a guy. This is an old gentleman who is saying all the kind of beautiful stuff about his Rapidash, and also talks about how he sleeps with his Rapidash. Let's go out of here. Ah, they're doing naughty stuff. They're doing naughty stuff on screen. Yeah, I'm not sure why this is going so terrible at the moment. What did I do different last time I played this that made it so easy? How is it? That makes no sense. Is this perfect game buggy or something?
This is the last round. Finish him off.
But it's not. What? This is not. This doesn't make this makes no sense at all. Yeah, but you know, Kochi, Uncle Kochi. You know, it's very awkward at a family gathering where Uncle Kochi shows up and starts undressing Pon Pon.
I don't know. I just feel like everyone does that.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's so sweet. So you had a headache. You can't charge the boss. You see? Do you see the rules of Spyro?
Maybe. Game over. No.
Maybe, yeah. You maybe see the rules of Spyro. I mean, it says game over. A cano, or a cano if you want to.
A canner.
Cano. A cano.
A cano.
A cano winner. It says truck speed limiter and just disable that one.
There we go. Now I can speed.
That's not what the police wants to hear.
Can you do the same thing in American Truck Sim?
I guess. Because it's the same developer, I would assume. You can do the same.
Oh, okay.
Never play that one.
I'm only an hour away. I'll be there in a minute.
Hey, wait. That's fine. I didn't die. I lost the mask, but I didn't die. But I'm allowed to die 3 times, though. I should probably have disabled that. Just because I'm allowed to do 3 times doesn't mean I have to die 3 times. Come on now. You don't carry this stench of sinners beasts. I almost read that as something else. Look, a cutscene with evil Pun Pun.
Whoa! You said it, Crash.
We can meet with the others after we've explored. Now, which way are the food trucks?
Yeah, I don't know why. Hueys are they apparently.
Yeah.
Interesting. Sorry that took a while. So, maybe I should search for like, what keys do you use in a platformer to jump? Using W space for jumping platforming games. I was curious what people... Because I don't think spacebar is a good button to jump. It's or for any actions for that matter, because it's so big and therefore, depending on what keyboard you have, some cheaper keyboards is not a good key to press. It doesn't feel right. Like it doesn't have a good feel to it. I mean, this keyboard kind of has kind of like a good spacebar, mediocre spacebar. Still doesn't feel right to press. I rather like these all the smaller keys. Basically every other smaller key is. Okay, maybe not that shift key, but a lot of the smaller keys just feels more responsive and more robust. If that makes sense. Have keys be rebindable and perhaps make a few preset options here. Had someone tested my game and said it felt awkward to have the space button to be the jump button instead of for the W for jump, since I'm using the WSD for movement in my game. I assume he meant AD for movement. I thought it was unusual since I believe it's standard for this space to be the jump button in most games. Do more games mostly use the W for jump on WSD controls now? Gonna need to know, since I need the W button for interacting with NPCs and moving up on elevators, and it will be hard for me to move while jumping ability on that key. Move the jumping ability on that key. What you can do, if it's specifically, I'm talking to this developer, now we're thinking out loud, interact, use the F key, if the elevator is specifically moving up, there's no other action you can take in an elevator. If it's going into an elevator and pressing up and down to move it up and down, that's different. But if it's just to enter the elevator or to like activate it, it will move up or down. I mean, it has a specific direction it goes in. I mean, if it can go in one direction for a given moment, have F be the interact key. If it's an elevator, it can go both up and down in a given moment. Then I can understand that's an issue. What you can do is have up the W and S as they move up and down in the elevator and ignore jumping specifically for that moment. But yeah. W is the interact key, now that, yeah, exactly, someone says that. W is the interact key, now that's weird. Oh, it's always let's better rebind keys. Everyone hates when games with hard-coded keybinds. You can do both. Just make the input of the W key conditional when you're on an elevator, it moves upwards. When you're not, W jumps. I'll make interact the F key, like most every key ever. But even if you want to keep it W, on W, just do more conditions. If you stand next to an NPC, W talks to them instead of jumping. Yeah, I just feel like interact should be another key. I'm just trying to think like... Actually, a lot of keys. Yeah, I guess lots of games actually use space for jump. I do understand if you're playing a controller game using D-pad up should not be jump. Always remind. I mean, yes, always remind. But that's what I want to achieve in my game. Okay, so looking at. I guess that would be okay, someone said you press up to go up, down to go down in the elevator. Okay, someone gives okay. Since this game does not have an interact, I do not have to care about interact, but someone said that they also added one too many bindings here. Someone, I can't remember, no, this is typing. Someone said they use L for jumping, so let's add that. It's something. And also, despite the game using the lower button to look up and the upper button to look down, maybe I should flip it around. I'm not sure if I should or should not. Should R1 and R2, which one should look up and down? Maybe I should flip it. So the upper button looks up and the lower button looks down. And then I just say like, yeah, it's modern controls. And then if you don't like it, you can just rebind it, because I will have it rebindable. That is the goal. Yeah, when you allow the rebind keys, allow it to add multiple keys to the same action. Okay. Mehmet put it to send or jump as well. I should totally set it to this key. OEM1. Which is a strange term for that, because it's not OEM1. That's not the name of the key. Jump on the controller will be the bottom button, I guess. Bottom south, I would say. Maybe I should have the right button too. No, it would. No, I don't. I could still have two jump buttons. Oh, wait. So did I assign? I did. Fine. And the north button to make it a forced forward jump. Then the question is, what should the look up and look down buttons be on the keyboard? I know I don't need to focus on this too much, but I could have like page up, page down, which is kind of weird, but let's start with that. But there we go. Are you happy? Is it I can assign it later on? Just now. Now, I assume the player script is the one that's going to read the inputs. So I have to create player input actions C# script, right? So now I should just figure out how I wrote this code again. Dinner was good. Nice. Or was it breakfast? I mean, from your perspective, it's probably more dinner. considering Breckner, Dink fast. Depends on when you ate last. If it was a long time before you ate, you can say you broke your fasting. Din fast, I like think fast. By the way, Pawn, have you ever run into issue in Blender where something is weight painted to a bone, but it refuses to move with it in the pose mode? No other thing has weights on it. So you're saying that no bone makes anything move. It's not like just that weight isn't working. It's like you only set one weight at the moment and you don't get it to work. That might be because the what do you call it? In modifiers, you might not have the armature modifier added. Or if you do have the armature modifier added, it might not be set to the correct armature. And if you do have it added and set to correct armature, it might not be enabled to show you, because you can also disable it from using the modifier. So there are many situations. There's like a couple other bones that move what they are painted to. The armature is okay. If other bones are moving the thing correctly, then that could be a typo in the name of the weight. That would have been most likely a typo because it does the string match. Does it do that? Those are actually 3D models that uses bones to move stuff. Do this? They actually do use strings to determine which bone they should follow. Pon is hating string matches. It's such a it's not an efficient way to. It's not performance effective. Just squish all bones down to numerical indexes and use those to determine which bone you should follow. Maybe they do. Should take a shower. Be back short. Okay, have a nice shower. I kind of feel like I want to take a shower. Disable showing the movement. Yeah, you have like buttons that show, like allows you to show the movement in edit mode, in outside edit mode, and in the render and stuff like that. I dislike string matching too. Basically, at least seems correctly named. Hopefully they use files. Don't use them. Yeah, it's just that when I export a model with the armature in it, and then like it just seems, because the names of the bones persist, that doesn't mean they use string matching. They can still index the bones and use index matching, but they still keep the names of the bones around. Seems a bit redundant, but so they might not do string matching. Where would the hide button be? On the modifier itself. It's next. It's like the 4 buttons to move the vertex points in edit mode, show it in edit mode, but don't move the points. Show it outside edit mode and show it in the render. Those are the 4 buttons. Also, thanks for trying to help me. Of course, I mean, you helped me. It would only be right for me to help you as well. Okay, let's see now. I need the inputs. So we're going to do bool input forward false. Wait, can I define multiple variables at the same time? Input left, input right. No, it doesn't. Oh, maybe. C# define multiple variables on one line with values. While it's a bit useful to keep the names, since, for example, Unity uses those names to make the game objects you can manipulate. Well, yeah, I mean, that does make sense that you would export it. But I mean, in Unity, as the game engine, should index all the bones, so anything that is referring to the bones should refer to them by their integer indexing. But yeah, it makes sense to keep the names when you're exporting it as a 3D model to import to Unity. It's just that the very final step when you bake the game, it should like index everything. C# multiple variables. Wait, so I can't like... Okay, you cannot type it like this. You can type it like this though. But I mean, at that point I can just write it out for each of them because it makes it a bit more readable. Forward, left, right, and then we have input jump forward. I don't know a better name for that. Look up, and finally look down. That was a lot of inputs for this game. Pon doing coding. Yes, I'm doing coding. Apparently, Skeleton has specified a singular bone vertex group of the bunch to actually use things. Huh? Well, at least you seem to have found the error. It used skeleton and not armor. Okay. Well then. Okay, so first one is creating variables. What's the difference between start and awake? Because in this code I apparently used awake and not start, because I guess Unity start awake difference. Unity awake is for all initialization calls that are within an object, such as get component calls, and start for anything that depend on another object being initialized is a common pattern. Okay, so awake is used for all the objects first, and after all objects has been initialized, it then uses a start on all objects, and therefore on start you can rely on the other objects already being initialized. While initializing, it just needs to be self-contained because it cannot rely on anything else. Awake happens before, yeah. But all objects awake should happen before just their start, right? I'll have to head off, so have a good stream. Because if it's just within an object awake happens before start, that's redundant, because anything you write early in start happens before what you write later in start, already doing the difference. But it seems that all the awakes happens before any of the starts happens, which is the actual meaningful distinction here, if I'm not wrong. And you also have the script priority tool in the priority settings. Okay. I guess that's to determine which awake should play before which awake. Okay. In awake we do input. Wait, I should have input as a thing first, right? Is it good to make these private? Because I haven't done that on the other script, so you are correct. I'm correct. Thank you for letting me know. Input, player input actions. Input, let's call it that. And inputs will be a new player input actions, which I guess I can't define here or something. And then we run the function which in the other game was called a define inputs, but you know, there's a custom function. And then inputs and player enable is a function. And then I have define inputs, which is it says priorities to which script it ran first, so it awakes complete or starts complete. It decides who runs first. Presumably it also updates and fixed updates. Yeah, that does make sense. Because it has to run one before another at some point. Okay, in define inputs, and do inputs, and then player, and then it's forward, performed, and then it's like plus equals action, and but action is just a variable name which is pushed into function, a custom function input forward. Which is not the variable input forward. And then for this action was created read value, which is bool, I assume. And this function doesn't exist. And then we have cancelled, which is can I just do like this instead? No, it doesn't allow me to do that. Why is it necessary to add the I don't know why is it necessary to have this extra variable here? Flashing. because it's going to be it's going to be pressed or not pressed, basically. Forward, left, right. So it's so warm in this room, I'm getting a little sweaty. Also set the category to art. I could set it to game development. Jump. Should jump forward. And then look up. And look down. And I just need all these individual functions. When it says A here, maybe I should just have it be like an eye. Imaginary. And this will set input look down to value. Oh, I didn't specify the type. I'll have to do that. There's a bool. Boom. There we go. It's all good. If I make this serialized field, I should be able to see. But again, I assume the serialized field is going to be excluded when you oh, never save this one. Save. Still could access them. Some reason. So if we go back to the scene and play it, and if I select a player, level items, player, we go as player, we have all those inputs. And we can see that they do respond, but it's kind of behind point. But you can see one flash in there. And I can press space to jump. Look up and look down. So yes, it does respond to all the controls. That is good. It's working. I'm a good bunny. So much code here for just the inputs. With that, I wonder if I should. Yeah, you're so smart, Fatfon. Thank you, Yellow Pepper Soda. That's very kind of you. With this, that means that the player. So yeah, so going back to the main script, when it creates the player, it can have a game object player. And when it instantiate player, it will catch the player so it knows which is the player. So it can interact with the player. And I should have a function that changes the game state. Like change game state. And it takes new state. Void AC. And it says the game. And it says it sets the game state to the new state. And then it can do things like if the game state now is gameplay, it can then tell the player is static. It's because it's private has control. It should give have a public function here, I guess, which can say like public void. Although it can get out of sync if there is no player and it's always at the game. But when it's created player, it should. Okay. Those are the bugs that need to be refined. Set hatch control. I don't know. Full value. I'm not sure I should call it that. Has control to value, and therefore should be able to access. Can I access its set as I can't set that. Game mode does not contain a definition of set has control. An accessible extension method the set has control except in the first argument of type could be found. That's a problem because I need to refer to the player specific script. Can I do that? Like player script. I know. Nope. It has Blaze script here, but can I like... Um... What is static? You want to name of the static library? No, I don't know what static is. I want to see what it is. Look, Shadow Lol is 95% cute today. Such a cute cutie. Okay. False information. How would I interact with the script of instance unity? Because I cannot tell the player do this. How would I even send information to a game object? Kill episode is 70% Q today. No, why is it so low? How to set value? Okay, let's see. I don't know, I need to change how many monsters there are going to be. Nor what each monster is. Okay, who knows then? I don't know how to communicate between that. I have done in my end. Let's give the answer what you're talking about. Sounds like you're on the wrong sides of the flat earth. I'm sure you know about C# or object-oriented programming. Or programming in general. Oh yeah, I need to get component. Okay, yeah. I did have to wake early to go to a work meeting, so it makes sense. Oh yeah, that's fair. Getting up early. Oh yeah. So let's see it here. So it'll be like get component. Can I do like player script function? Okay, that seems to work. So, but this I want to. What data type is this? Class player script. Okay, so the data type is player script. That makes sense. So I have game mode player and player script is the player script. But it's kind of a weird way to do that, but sure. So I set the player script to that, and instead of interact, when I want to send something, I just do player script. I would like to. Is there Unity serialized field run function? Choosing is inspector to store serialized classes to expose the classes as a field. Inspector will then let you drag and drop a class onto an object field. Not really what, like, I want to just be able to have like a function that I can like input a value and just press execute. Do. Okay, it seems to be very complicated. And then I can do like else. Player set high control fouls. There we go. But I might not actually need to do this, because if I destroy the object anyway, you can't control the object if the object is destroyed. So when you die, you could just destroy the object, and now you can no longer control it. Same thing when you succeed. Yeah, but there might be other instances where you no longer have control. This should in theory work. So what it will do now is that you should okay, out of curiosity, what happens in this game if I press 2 directional buttons at the same time? It prioritizes moving forward, it ignores turning. Unless I press turning on the frame right before. But if I hold forward, I cannot turn. I'm just thinking, should I prioritize turning over? I feel like I wanted to prioritize turning because it feels nice being able to just move forward and just press us to the side and do a turn. Or am I wrong? So, first we check has control. Because otherwise we don't care about inputs. Actually, you know what? Couldn't I set it here? Has control inputs enable, else inputs disable? I don't know if that's a good way to do this. Are inputs exclusive to each object? As what I'm thinking is like this object enables it. Is it like enabled for this object specifically, or is it enabled like globally? If I create another object, that will also run enable again. Would that cause any issues? Okay, I would set this one itself to true for now, but in the future it will. In the future, it's the main script that will tell it to be true. So first we'll figure out turning. So what we do is we create a variable which calls turning. Or do we do no, it should be like bool turning, and this value should be the XOR. How do I XOR? It should be XOR, right? XOR. What is XOR? Yeah, X stands for exclusive. So C# XOR 2 bools. Let's type that. Got a result here. No, I don't want the XOR 2 bytes. Not sure what the person would want there. Okay, there are two options for, so I could do input left XOR input right. Introduce variable curve. What? Anyway, input left, X or input right. This will set the turning variable. And then I can check the turning variable. Or the other option is I do not create a new variable, and then I do just if left isn't the same as right. Because this works too, because I only care if left or right are two different values. That means that you're turning left or turning right. If you're not turning at all, they are the same value, therefore you're not turning. And if you're turning both ways at the same time, they are the same value again. Which means that you're not turning. It will ignore the turning. Roxy's with potch to check. Yeah, I'm sitting kind of bad. I also need to make food, by the way. Ran out of food. So it will so let's start with forward motion. So we'll do like forward and not turning. Let's actually type this correctly. Moving forward, not turning. So here comes the complicated part. It needs to check
Well, here's the sleep shop's answer.
and it should check directly below itself to determine what position is the block below it. How do I check that? Because the player could be offset between the two. That is possible. That is because if you were to move I guess if you're very, very close to okay, I need it to be able to check if there's a block below it. Does that mean the block below needs collision? This is where I'm starting to get. No, I should have the other game I made has check that it does if it's collide with something, so I could easily just check. It creates a collider. Is that really the best way? Unity gets object below Cast the race for object 1 up and 1 down, so in this way you can find any object above or below to that object casting an array. Here's a script reference, thank you. I'll take that. So recast heat. Does the recast in okay. Wait, how do I define does the recast inspect an object excluding the player layer? The player layer. Oh yeah, I should create objects in different layers, shouldn't I? These 32 layers. So do we have like player items, cubes, and then when I create an object, I want it to be set to a certain layer. How do I do that? So let's hide this one for now. What's object? I need parent, position rotation, parent. Okay, I guess there is instantiate parameters. What are the instantiate parameters? Equals references. Okay, so I probably have to like layer. Can I set? How do I set? Is just this? Oh, did I say 16? This is that. Is that it? Answer me. Is this it? So if I run this, can I see which layer an object is on? So I was hoping it could set the layer at the same time I was creating the object. Player. There you go. It works. It works. But can I Unity instantiate parameters set game motive parameters? I'm gonna see it. Now, how do I define the parameters and then I can instantiate them and just reuse the parameters? Yeah, instantiate parameters. Okay, we got stuff here. I don't remember the parameters seeing world space. Wait, so you can't set layers this way? Object instantiate layer. What? It said something about layer, but it doesn't exist. I guess you can't. I guess that's one of the options you don't have. Do. Well, items 17, cubes 18. Well, I'm not sure if that's a good way of doing it, but that's how I'm doing it, I guess. Can I? I don't think I can do this, can I? Maybe I can. It looks a bit silly, doesn't it? No, I should. I could just do like this. It looks a bit nicer, and therefore I should be able to do it here too. Why doesn't that one work? Is it because I'm setting it to a value? Is specifically that's why? Okay. I guess that's a limitation then. So yeah, there we go. And now if I check a cube, yep, it's in the correct layer. Good. This is working. So and then I can do like I did in this one, which I think is a good thing. Which are script scripting. This will be just an empty one, which is static values. Oh, I'm changing the name. Give me a... Let me do that. There we go. And in here, I will not use Unity Engine, I don't need that. Public static class, which will be layers, and this I will use, which will be public const integer value, which is player, items cube. Player is the one that's singular because it's only one player. I mean, I could make like a multiplayer mode, but split screen, that would be neat. But like, how would that exactly work? Okay, and then I type 0b to specify as binary. And then we have a player, which is items and cubes. But because it starts at 16, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can just copy it beforehand. This should ensure that they get the correct values. We can check it if it was 16. It's 16. But when is it 0? So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then we have 16, 17, 18. So this is 16, 17, 18. And then we can have, thank you for the plushie code. We can have combined ones, so you can refer to player and items, as well as players, items and cubes. items and cubes, as well as player and cubes. And these you type player, pipe, items, simple as that. And here we type cubes, and here is without items, and here is without player. So all the values are defined here. These are the numerical values for all the types of layers you can have, which we then can refer to here by typing layers and picking what layers we want. That's not even show up. No, it doesn't. Here's a pop-up with all the layers. I can pick cubes, and that refers to the cubes only. Pretty cool, I'd say. I think it's pretty neat to do it this way, but that's me, I guess. Now that that's been done, now I need to raycast downwards and find what's below. So let's do that. But what counts as down is of course from the player's perspective. I do need to take that into consideration too. So that's going to be funny. But let's for now focus on straight down. How do I do this? Because I want to not just check if there's something there, I also want to get its values, which is all dependent on which one. What I said is going to go easy games. As long as I stay on the top of the blocks, it's going to be easy. Then it's just about expanding it. So what will this be when you are finished? Well, you'll see. Don't be in such a hurry. Okay, raycast heat. I guess we could call it that. You'll see. I don't want to spoil it. And then we do, doesn't have to be through physics. Private bulb noise equals true. Why private? Eat the sheep. But sure, I can be a private. I thought that was public. Although maybe I'm private, maybe I'm protected. Fruit. You should. You should also specify it as a const equals true, because that means that it can never be turned to false. I will be a Benoi forever. But maybe that's a good choice to not make it const, but maybe I changed species. I was a dog once for one day. That's an April Fool's joke. $1,400 for a Steam machine or a new PC. Or you can donate that money to Ponpon the Dream Bunny, who can then use that money to that money to help herself. Probably static void destroy Pnoi. What does that function contain? You have now established the function, but you haven't. Can Pon Pon the Dream Bunny play games in 4K? No, I don't have a screen I can show that. So no. Array cast. I can't. Where's array cast command? Structs used to set up array cast command to perform asynchronously during a job. Okay. Physics array cast. Okay, here we go. I don't have a 4K screens either. Yeah. Sometimes I would like to have it, because sometimes I want to take like a screenshot of something and make it really big instead of have to take a screenshot, scroll, take a screenshot. But I think a 4K screen would be too much for me. I think I will settle with an in-between. What's an in-between? Like a 1620 height. I think 2880 times 1620. I think I would like a screen. Actually, if I look up that, can I find computer screens? Where's the filters? But I have it. Or have they? I have a good screen, physical screen type, max resolution. But I guess. Anyway, it's resolution. What is it? 2880. 2880 search. Wait, there is no screens with that resolution. Not a single one in the whole world. Yeah, 2880 gives no well, it gives a result for height, but it does not give it for width, and I find it's crazy. And I unfortunately cannot search. Oh, there we go. There's the filters. I didn't see the button. Okay, if I go to command, nope, picture properties or whatever you call it, 16 by 9. I mean, I don't need a 16 by 9, but it is just the most common. I could go to something that is close to that. If it's like 17 by 9, 16 by 10. Even though 16 by 10 is 8 by 5. There are some weird options here. And then we got other strange values. I wish I had like this in numerical sizes, in decimal sizes. That would actually help me a bit more to understand. Like, what's 58 to 9, for example? That is a huge, super wide one. 5 by 4 is all square, 4 by 3 is kind of square, 3 by 2 is kind of like maybe 13.5 times 9, but it's a bit squarish. And then the question is resolution. How do we sort by the initial value and not the secondary value? So they have like 2560 by 1440, for example. And I guess that is the closest to what I'm looking for. I guess those are the only options. So I clear the screen aspect ratio. Okay, let's see here. Why did it have 2048 by 2560? I mean, it's been written the taller than it's wide. I could just orient it whichever way I want. No, I guess these are the only really only screens that are. Well, there are some cheap ones for like 140 euro. Get more screen space too. Anyway, I want to see. Enough of that. I'm supposed to do programming now. So it will take the position of the player, which is a transform position. But I want to take the bottom of it, so I'll do plus vector 3 0 minus 1 0. I guess I have to type new vector 3. It takes overloads, but I can't see the overloads, which is a bit. So array max distance, that's a good one. And I need the raycast hit info. And create an array. Something that's above using array origin and array direction instead of origin direction. The starting point and direction of the array. Some of these have extra information. Origin direction, heat, max distance, layer mask. Okay, I guess that's what I'm looking for. Oh, bring it up again. Why did you hide it? How do I determine direction? -2. Is it heat? And then still the wrong one. Yes, and then max distance. Pop. And then layers, cubes. Okay, what is wrong here? Cannot convert from units to raycast it to float. What do we float? Cannot convert float to int. This is not the one I'm looking. You're going for the wrong one. How do I change that? You're going for the wrong one. This is the one I'm looking for. Origin. Now let's change it again. Direction. Hit info. Do it up out. Okay. That's why. There. And then if I type debug log hit, there should be like debug draw array actually, so I could do that too. Debug actually let's do a debug draw array, which I really should. Because I do write it in uppercase, fully uppercase. I'm not sure if I should do that. I could write it in lowercase too. Which means all of these should be lowercase. Like that. Oh no, it does that with other things. To be fair, it's very inconsistent if they use uppercase or low, like vector 3. So vector 3 and color are using lowercase, math float is using uppercase. A single uppercase. It has been 10 million years since I wrote anything in a C derivative, so use your imagination. I'm trying to. I see. Yeah. Why is it telling me a lot of your redeems are new? Because I did that for a reason. You can just open it. If you open it and it says a bunch of stuff in new, I disable and enable a bunch of redeems. If you close it and open it again, it should not tell you it's new anymore. Quote, I guess they don't have a big library of old people names. That is a quote. So if I draw an array, let's see here, I should really have something that determines. And then I can, well, I need the length too, don't I? Duration, depth test. Duration? Don't you mean like length? But okay. Color, you type color, and then you can determine the color from all of these colors, which you can't see because it doesn't show up on stream. But let's go with the red, I guess. We got a dark red, Indian red, medium violet red. Violet, not violent. Orange red, pale violet red, just red, soft red, and violet red. Not the same as pale violet red or medium violet red. Anyway, let's go red. And then duration. I don't know what you mean by duration, but let's go with that. Let's see if this works. Right, I should minimize that. So if I run this, we should both be able to see the ray. Does the ray draw through everything? Do I have to go into the object to see it? And it doesn't say anything. I do not see a ray occurring here. I don't see a ray anyway. Yeah, I got some said fighting here. But you don't see that on the outside. I don't see a ray. Do I need to enable something to see that? It's not like it shows up in the game camera either. So they're drawing a ray here. Oh yeah, because I changed on the material for cubes that they would be double-sided. They shouldn't be double-sided. This should be single-sided. There we go. However, this does not work. Okay, I should probably have something that determines down from the player. I should have a private void. No, it will result in a vector 3 actually. And this will be distance down. Distance down, not all couples return the value. Okay, return u vector 3 0. Okay, I guess I don't have to type in u on that then. Just return something. Oh yeah. Because I do need... These are the inputs ones. I don't know with it, but I need some regular values here too, which is like... This will be int, so this one will be orientation. So this will by default be 0. Has anyone ever come to your stream and seriously mistaken you for a different animal? I think it has happened. It seems like that would be hard since you're such an easily readable animal, but I am just curious. I'd say I mean, I don't really have a bunny nose, do I? But I think it's also because bunny is in my username. But I think it has happened at least before I changed my username. Although, to be fair, what a bunny, despite having bunny in the name, was called dog a lot. But that was because he had his ears on the sides, making him more look like a dog. My ears are more on the back, which makes me look more like a bunny. But I think it has happened. But it's extremely rare. It probably happened once or twice, but I can't remember. So I guess you could say that it hasn't happened. So I will do a switch on orientation. So I'll do it case 0. On case 0, is going to complain because cannot fall out of switch from final case label here. Distance down, it should be float a distance. So they will take transform position, so return transform position plus new vector 3 0 0 0. That's not how I type it. And the child should be minus distance. There. And then I have case 1. Now let's see if I can remember. So it's, I said... Wait, everything seems in... Okay. No, it's this way. So I prioritize X because X comes before Z. And I take the positive of X because positive is positive and negative is negative. That means that it's negative X. The case... I mean, I didn't show you that because I like this. Boom. I place the cube here. This one is positive X. So this means that orientation 0 is on top, orientation 1 is in this location and goes down towards the cube. So it's going to be negative x in the code. So negative x. And case 2 is going to be negative z, as I'm going through them in order. Oh, you could argue that 0 starts on y. I go positive y, positive x, positive z, negative x, negative z, negative y. You could argue that's not really going through them in order, is it? But all these should not be negative, and it should be 3, 4, 5. And then you could have a default where you just return 0. As in return transport position, then yeah. So now down is relative. So instead of this, it is possible that I didn't. Oh no, I didn't never press forward, that's why. But let's, for the sake of debugging, always draw this line. So here I would say distance down, which by the way should be a half float, and it should check down to, I don't know if that matters. I should create an array. Actually, can I create an array instead? Array ray down, which is new ray, which is just blank, or origin direction in origin in direction. How does that work? I know out, but how does in work? Creates array starting origin along direction. How does direction work? And I get a array down instead of all these. Array down instead of all of this. Okay, what are you complaining about? Covering in the region vector 3. Wait, don't you have one? Okay, draw ray apparently does not take array. That is weird. That makes no sense to me. Bikini. Well, that's weird. What am I? Oh, look, it's working. But as we can see, and also, it does draw through everything, which is nice. So now it's working. But it is clearly not going in the way I want it to. Not moving the orb, but not moving the play. Oh, I think duration is for how long it should be active for. I see. It should be active for, and I assume it's in seconds. So it should be alive for, well, that long, I guess. I couldn't see it because I was covering it. Surprise hack! Hell yeah, that was a surprise. It came out of nowhere. There now people will mistake you for a sea bunny. Oh yeah, those things. Yeah, those really looks like bunnies, despite, you know, not being bunnies. Okay, I need 2 then. I need the functions. I need one for position down and then one for direction down. Let's do position. Wait, what do I call it? Direction. I can't call it back. Okay, so direction down. It's just for the direction. Crucifan, which I wonder if I should probably not have an input for that one. Hello, thank you so much for raiding. I do appreciate that. Position down. I don't know. I am doing some game development. Let me save this and show what I have so far. Oh no, I forgot to minimize it. Sorry about that. There. What are you up to? You're playing Silly Song. How did that go? Oh, actually, this might not be Twitch new stuff. This might be something I have. There's something changed on my side. Because I can't see them here anymore. We'll see next time something happens. Crucifan is raiding in. Hello raiders, meow 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 meow. But you're a cat, by the way. Considering you have so many characters, I do like that is. It's quite interesting to see how many different characters you have, and I also got different outfits. And I see, which always makes me think like I would love to see like every character wearing every character's outfit. You can choose a character and outfits independently. Got a moon, nice. Final boss. So did you read the final boss though? I'll get them next time. Oh, you didn't read the final boss. But next time. Next time you'll get it. Yes, trans. I am trans. I have that many trans tags on my tags, right? Yes, I have trans. Transgender, trans. I just have a lot of them. Just to see what I can track. Okay, so anyway, I was going to show this. So if I play. Boom. Oh, I'm still doing the ray wrong. I don't know why it's doing the ray wrong. But yeah, so we have these cubes. And then we have the ball. Now trying to make the ball cast the ray downwards. But I'm struggling with it. It's not doing it. It's casting a ray to the side. But the angle of the ray does change depending on the height of the ball. Not this oh, wait. Still seems to... Okay, first my issue was... Okay, so... What is wrong? Because it clearly takes the position, like it duplicates the position. Oh, that's why. When I created a new code here, I forgot to remove the position, respawn position, because it only cares about the direction from origin, or when it comes to okay, this is vector 0. I mean, there are already, I guess I don't need to create this because I could just create, I could just ask for like vector 3 down, this will be vector 3 up, What is left and right and forward and backwards? But I guess it doesn't matter. I can for the sake of consistency type all the numbers like this, because that's what it does anyway. If I go to vector 3, type up like that, it says 0 1 shorthand for writing vector 3 0 1 0, yeah. But maybe I'll just keep this for sake of simplicity. There you go. Now it should cast the rate properly. Now that I've actually changed what I needed to change. And I forgot to minimize it again. Let me do that. Whoop. Let's start. So you've been learning game dev? Yes, I have. I've been learning some with Naruto, and now I'm doing it on my own. Look, now it's doing it correctly. Why it's going down so far? It's kind of surprising. Oh yeah, because... oh yeah, no way. This vector is actually... so now it does properly... so it should have control. So now I can press forward, and it has orientation 0. Wait, I can't see some of them. Those they jump, look up and down. It currently doesn't do anything, but I'm just figuring out for it to cast the ray correctly so it can check for things. Yeah, it is the famous game of cubes, ball. Yes, it's cubes and balls. Quote, no cube quotes. Oh, that's strange. Pon the bun, that's me. You got a strawberry. Do you have a dream project? I do. I would like to have a game starring Pon Bonk, but that will take so much effort to make. I will put game ideas, but I'm not going to tackle those because I know I'm not going to be able to make them. Not now. And some of those projects I probably have to work with other people to make. But that's not for now. It still annoys me that I can't use a ray down for a drawer. Minesweeper Pon, that's not what I'm after, but okay. Dream Bunny project, yeah, it's going to be Pon the Dream Bunny. She's going to fight nightmares through different means, and you should also be able to change Pon's outfits anytime. You should pause the game, and then you have the dress up option there, and you should just change Pon's outfit wherever you want. You don't have to, like, some games allows you to change your character's appearance, but then you have to go like quit the current level and go back to the menu to change your appearance. Not in my game. You should be able to just do it at any point. It doesn't affect gameplay. So why not? Maybe someday with enough practice and knowledge, yeah, I'm going to go towards it. I believe in the bun. Thank you. Okay, I got a good draw. What are you drawing? And Pon just changes wherever she is, shocking everyone around. Well, she's a dream bunny in a dream world, so I don't think just suddenly wearing a different outfit would be that strange. Sinful thing. Is it sinful in Pon's taste? Or is it worse than Pon's taste? But I have a drawing I could share here on the Twitch realm. Ooh. Something you made recently. Oh yeah, I haven't checked the console about that, but it's a work in progress. Okay, so if I run this, it probably don't hit the cubes because the cubes don't have anything to hit. Yeah, it doesn't give anything. Can I make the cubes be hittable? So if I go here, I probably have to... It's a mesh renderer. mesh cube mesh filter. What do you mean by that? Mesh renderer? Oh, the mesh renderer is material. Okay. But others have two materials. Others got to transform. And the transform should be all 0. But then I add a component. Physics. Box collider. Is that mesh? No, I just need a box collider. Size. It was slightly incorrect. Still doesn't trigger. Provide is trigger. Provides contracts. Includes layers. Excludes layers. Layer priority. So I must exit mode to save. See, okay, makes sense. So if I store this and start it up again, so it exists when it creates objects. No, it still doesn't do a collide. It has array, and array is flickering light slightly. And the ray should be there. The problem with rays is that this is a ray that is being drawn. Is it because it starts? Maybe I should start it higher up actually. This ray that it is creating, the ray that is drawing on screen is actually not the ray that is using. The drawn ray and the actual ray that it does for collision testing are two completely different things, unfortunately. Which does not make debugging easy, because you could make. What's that? Did I have this code up again? Because you could make this. I could make this line, and then what I could end up doing is making this line being correct. Okay, now it starts kind of like in the center of the wall, doesn't really matter, and then goes down. If I change the orientation, it should change the orientation of the ray, as we can see. So 5 is on the other side, so it causes upwards. Can I? No, I can't hide it. Well, I should be able to. What is this? Oh, you can like disable lots of effects. No, I think I could disable those visual controls. I guess I can do it here. Nope. Oh, here. Here are the controls. No other tool context. Okay, so yeah, so this is on the side, and then we have the other each of the other directions. But it doesn't see the cube, and I wonder. Boom. I wonder if there's. Include layers, cubes, layers, items. Exclude layers. How do I make it work? Like it is correctly placed. But the ball does not see it. How do I fix this? I was struggling with making it a link. Yeah, I can DM with you as well. Yeah, you can DM with me. And if you're okay with it, I can also put it on screen, which I guess you perhaps intended by sharing a link anyway. But it's, you know, I still want your permission, because I want to ensure that I don't do something I shouldn't. We got a person joining my server and left. They couldn't succeed through the verification system. Don't worry about showing it on stream. It's fine if you want to, but I don't want to distract you too much. I mean, if I'm going to look at it, I'm going to be distracted anyway. You know. You know. So, I don't want to change anything. That's why I said too much. You're funny. Probably need just help on this one, because I am lost. It does not. Yeah, the okay, I can't move it like that. That's why I have these controls. But I don't get any collisions going. Okay. Okay. I probably should go make some food though instead, unfortunately, so because I'm hungry and I can't get this to work. So I'll ask Janette for what I'm doing wrong. I just started a new song, so let's stop that. So this is an old schedule. So for this week I probably will do like random stuff. Nothing like whatever I feel like, because I really want this all to see. As soon as I get the main gameplay done, it's more about just creating the levels, which shouldn't be that much of a hassle. So I'm just going to make this first test level as a sort of has everything in it kind of thing. No, maybe not everything, but main things, and then I will expand things as I go on. You need some bunny chow. Hey, cubes. Yeah, it's cubes. It's a game about cubes. Are you traversing cubes? You will see whenever I get, as soon as I get the player character to recognize the cube that is below it, depends on its orientation. I'm really happy that I could resolve that pretty quickly. It will therefore be able to determine the relation to the cube, which is something I need to have, so that you can then traverse to the next cube. If you want, Trisifan, if you like to share artworks you do with more people, you are free to share it on my server. I mean, if that's all you want to do on my server, just posting your artworks, that's fine. You do not need to. There's no obligation to be active in any other way. Yes, I'm just making that clear, so that there's no. So you feel. Don't feel wrong. Because that's something I and other felt like. Posting your own creation but not interacting anything else in the server might feel wrong sometimes, and there are people who like actual streamers who do not like that. So but I'm okay with it, and I know the only other person I know who explicitly said so is Oceanax. I feel bad about just posting art on servers. Maybe someday I'll get over it. Yeah, So I mean that's yeah, I have kind of like have that feeling myself too at times, but that's why I'm explicitly saying that it is perfectly okay. I enjoy art you make. So if that's all you want to do, if that's all you feel like doing, and I mean when you stop by and posting an artwork, maybe you see something other interesting that you want to make a comment on and have a slight bit of interaction, but absolutely not required in any way at all. People are free to be as active as they want. So this is the let me quickly change this week then. I will change the text here so it says create let's type art development / monster train 2 because I might play that game as well. It's just whatever I feel like. I could change the first one because now that I know what I did on it, but and then for the I'm not in the schedule. That wasn't obvious, which it might not have been. Also, why is this one called Friday when it's clearly Thursday? There we go, now it's named correctly. And this one should say in 2 weeks. It should say next week, because it's not this week, it is next week. So saving that and exporting it, and exporting it over that file, which should update it on stream. And there we go, now it has updated. And I can also save a copy to post on the server. Yeah, that's a good point. I haven't thought about it like that before. Yeah, as you feel like. I do, but I guess a more important note is that due to spammers, and there is quite a few spammers who join my server, I have a verification process where you have to tell me on Twitch that you have joined my server. That is also, you did send me a DM on Twitch. I wasn't aware of that, by the way, sorry. We can have a quick look at this as I'm quitting anyway. I joined just now. Yes, good that you're letting me know, so I can check correct. Because we... There we go. Feel free to look around, or no obligation to say anything on the server if you don't want to. Of course, did you throw it on yourself? What a fool. So what are you going to be eating, Ponpon? I don't know, whatever is available to eat. But because Tristan was so kind to raid, we can have a quick look at the artwork that was so kindly shared. A lot of monster train. Well, it's slash. It's one of the things. It's not. It's if I feel it. Look at this artwork. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it cute? All fluffy, woolly. What's the exact species? Sheep. I'm not good with species. What a pretty sheep. That's one of my weaknesses. And but you're such a good artist, and I wish I could draw so nice and smoothly. I just want to, yeah, I don't know what it is. I have to learn. And you're a great inspiration for me to. A lot of artists makes me more motivated to draw. Motivated. I can't speak English. So anyway, let's And if you want to see more cute Trisifan art and art in progress, you should press on Trisifan's name and choose follow. Press the heart button. Thank you for sharing my art. You make such good art. Should we go somewhere? Should we raid someone? Where have I not been in a long time? I have not been... What game is this? It's Sonic Adventure, one of the games. I don't know which it is. And I should play that at some point. This is Argic. Oh, we'll get the name of it rating, I guess. Who is someone I got to know through the people I've been racing against, or more specifically got to know through Stamp. The Stamp Stories Stamp. So, we could go there because I never raided there. So, why not? Just do it for once. I'd like to do that. But I'm going to eat anyway, so I have to leave quite early anyway. It is a family-friendly stream, so no naughty talk, but most of you are very safe in your talk, especially since recently. Oh, how did the race go? Did you win? I missed it. Oh yeah, the race I did against Stamp, SJM and Kafki. Yes, I did win. I got 6-7%. And while Stamp got 60, I was very close behind. I was very unsure about who was going to win that. Because anyway, I'm starting now. It was because you can't, like, you could check your completion percentage while you're racing, but no one really did. So yeah, we kind of blindly went for 2 hours and then saw who won. I mean, it was still fine. So the benefit of trying to defeat the final boss is that you can see the progress of people. So it's really, I don't know, what do you prefer? Congratulations, thank you. And I hope to be able to do another one of those races on the PS1 version, because SGM was interested in doing that. So I should just ask them if they're willing to just do a second attempt at it. The fun part was you didn't always know where you stood compared to the others. Yeah, I mean, I did have a strong feeling that I was ahead of SGM and Kafki, since they were struggling completing levels in the first place. I was actually surprised how much SGM was struggling, considering how much she has played to Crash 1 and 2. And like fully completed with very high, but even going for the highest time trial requirements, which I haven't even gone for. Yeah, but let's go for a raid.